Good evening and thanks for joining us for a sold-out 60th edition of the Bislett Games from the Norwegian capital, Oslo. This meeting has produced 70 world records over the years, and this year they're going to go for another one in the men's 5,000 metres in an arena that has traditionally been a hunting ground for distance records. Leonis Perez Hernandez, the world indoor champion, just got the furthest jump in the world this year, 14.93, getting really close to the 15-metre mark. She went into Paris as the world lead, Perez Hernandez, but only ended up 5th. And her best jump through the first 5 rounds came in round 3. It was at 14.72. That was enough to give her the lead. So Duplantis with his second attempt at a new meeting record. Let's take it all the way out to 6.15. And that's much tidier from Duplantis there. He was brilliant at some of the earlier heights, particularly the 5.92s. He was miles over that. 3 attempts at 6.03 and then 2 attempts to get 6.15. High fives all round for Duplantis.
Well, back to this javelin. Here is Haruka Kitaguchi. She's the reigning world and Olympic champion as the Japanese 27-year-old. Now, opened with 57 meters, then a no throw, and then 60 and 60 in rounds 3 and 4. What's she done there in round 5? Has she found a big one? Remember, Vilagos in round 3, 63.78. That is the lead she's chasing, and she has found a little bit more. Jaeger, the local darling, Henrietta Jaeger, goes in lane 4. Isabella Whittaker, NCAA champion this year. That was back in March indoors. She's short and she's powerful as Jaeger, and she comes into the straight here, and the crowd are loving this. Coming back at her is Whittaker in lane 3 in the yellow for the USA. But is Jaeger going to take this one? She's taken this field by the scruff of the neck and shaking it down, but Whittaker gets her there at the line. It was mighty tight, 49.57. Only 7 women before tonight have broken 50 seconds in the world this year.
Olympic champion Emmanuel Wanyonyi of Kenya goes in lane 7, won that title by just 100th of a second. And Wanyonyi out on his own at the moment. It was a great first 300 metres from Gronstad of Norway, put himself in a great position, but he's faded slightly and left a gap between the likes of Hangora and Wanyonyi. Wanyonyi Atari attacking Sadyati. Wanyonyi, the Olympic champion, starting to falter on the inside, but the Kenyan digs deep. He finds something. 1:42.77 from Emmanuel Wanyonyi. Hats off to the Kenyan, because he looks spent with 100 metres to go. The other athletes are closing in on him, but he left something for the closing stages.
Next event on the track, the women's steeplechase. What a race this promises to be. Second kilometre now. Even pace, Anna, they'd be running around. And she moves onto the shoulder now of Faith Cheretich. This is the closest she's been to taking the lead the whole race. As Buziana is in 3rd place, she's been dragged around by these two through these last couple of laps to stay well clear of a brilliant run there from Liamaya in 4th place. As they come into the straight now, Yavi is more concerned with winning than she is with a quick time here. So, though, is Faith Cheretich. Who's it going to be off the final barrier? Yavi, gritted teeth, head back. Cheretich on the inside, retains that half metre, wins by half a metre, 9:02.60. It is indeed a meeting record. And we're looking at Jordan Scott in this men's triple jump. Opening effort from Scott, the Jamaican. That looked okay for Scott. Well, I can tell you that Scott had been given 17.34 his opener. That is a new lifetime best for the Jamaican. What a way to kick off his competition.
And their way in this men's 200 metres. This event could be wide open as we look towards the global stage in Tokyo. That's a brilliant middle phase of the race here from Rainier Mena of Cuba. He's high-stepping his way through here in 50 metres. Is he going to hold on? He falters just before the line. There was a challenge from Mumentala and De Grasse. They were close, but Mena, I think, did do enough to hold on there.
15 starters in this men's mile. This is going to be a big final 400 metres. And Giles hits the last 200 metres in the lead. Nadir right behind him as they go into this final 200, and that's a big kick. And coming around the outside, Esai looking strong in the red. Big run from Nielsen too. This is a real lottery. Look at that pack. It's like a cross-country race down the home straight as Esai blows them away here down the home straight. What a run it is. What a brilliant run. And coming through on the inside, Cam Myers. 3:48.24 there, the winning time. Absolutely brilliant.
But here is the Olympic champion after a couple of near misses to the podium in Budapest. Julian Alfred beaten out the blocks perhaps by Talu Smith, but Julian Alfred getting into a running here in the last 30 metres. The Olympic champion stretches away for the rest of the field. It's well under 11 seconds, 10:89 for Julian Alfred. And that looked cool and calm. It was a solid start from the Olympic champion.
Nico Young of the USA, 12:51 he ran on the 2nd of March indoors in Boston. 59.3, that penultimate lap there from George Mills as they go into this final 400. But George Mills still looks calm out there, doesn't he? Young moving up onto his shoulder. Can you believe this? A European and an American ahead of the best of Africa. The crowd loving this one. Young leads. Mahari trying to come back at him with that galloping style in second. George Mills in fourth at the moment. Look at the clock though. This is super fast. 12:45.26 by Nico Young there. That is quick.
There is Dalila Mohammed, the 2016 Olympic champion. 10 hurdles to go for these women. Each of them will have their own stride pattern. Anna Hall exploding out of the blocks. 3 hurdles left for the former Olympic champion. She has done this event for so many years. She was so dominant, so impressive. She's had to give way to the likes of Femke Bol and Sydney McLaughlin-Navrone. But tonight in Oslo, it's going to be a win for Dalila Mohammed of the United States. She looks great. It's a fall from Anna Hall over that final barrier. But 53.34 for Mohammed. It is a new season's best by half a second.
Number 1 all-time, of course, at 400-metre hurdles. Number 1 officially at 300-metre hurdles. Benjamin slightly in the lead, and Benjamin storming around this bend into the home straight, looking lovely and balanced. Clears that barrier well up on Karsten Warholm, who's trying to come back at the American. Clears that barrier better, has the momentum, and goes clear, and storms past the American. 32.67. It is a world record. The first time 33 seconds has ever been broken, and by what a margin!